Hello, Blackhawks Nation. Welcome to Blackhawks Daily, your favorite recap, the daily buzz around your Chicago Blackhawks. I'm your host, PJ. Thank you very much for tuning in on this really dry off season, as we've talked about before. It's hard. It's just trying to come up with stuff to talk about, but we're doing it because we love the best city in the world, Chicago, and we love the best team in hockey, and that's our good old Blackhawks. So thank you very much for going on this ride with me. Thank you for keeping the team and the city in the forefront of your mind. Just looking forward to the Centennial season. It's going to be amazing. So let's get into the top 4 topics of today. So as you know, we've had some long overdue recognition that's finally happening at the UC. The first class of the brand new Blackhawks Hall of Fame has officially been announced, and it's headlined by 2 absolute franchise legends, Mr. Duncan Keith and, finally, Steve Larmer. The team dropped the news Friday morning, right as single game tickets went on sale. So it's a smart marketing play, but more importantly, it's a moment that matters to us, the fans, this rabid fan base that we have here. Larmer and Keith will be the first 2 inducted into this new Blackhawks Hall of Fame, and they'll be honored during a special Hall of Fame game on April 11th against the Blues. And you know the UC is going to be rocking that night. Blackhawks chairman and CEO Danny Wirtz said in the release, "The incredible participation we saw from Blackhawks fans, alumni, and the media is a testament to the lasting influence to each of these individuals that they've had on our storied franchise." And he is absolutely right. So let's start with Duncan Keith, who, ironically, is also going into the Hockey Hall of Fame this year. 3-time Stanley Cup champ, Conn Smythe winner in 2015, 2-time Norris Trophy winner, Olympic gold medalist, you name it, pretty much everything under the sun. Keith was the anchor of that dynasty-era blue line. He played 1,192 regular season games and another 135 playoff games for the Hawks over 16 seasons. And every single shift, he played like he cared more and had more hustle than anyone else on the ice. For most teams, Keith would already have his number retired, but now he'll take his rightful place as one of the greatest to ever wear our sweater. And now let's talk about Steve Larmer. His moment has finally arrived. If you followed this show, you already know where I stand on Larmer. This guy has deserved recognition from the franchise for years. He's one of the greatest 2-way forwards in team history and was a model of consistency through the 80s and early 90s. 891 regular season games, 107 playoff games, Calder Trophy winner in 83, and the guy never missed a game. He was Mr. Reliable, and it's about time his name gets elevated with the honor he deserves. Also worth noting, everyone whose number has already been retired will automatically be a part of the Blackhawks Hall of Fame. So that means names like Mikita, Hull, Savard, Esposito, Hossa, Chelios, all of them are in there as well. But here's the thing. We're still missing something. If this Centennial season really means honoring the past, it's time to put numbers 2 and number 28 up in the rafters where they belong, period. End of story. So what do you think? Did the Hawks get the first Hall of Fame class right? Who do you want to see added next? So please drop your takes in the comments as you always do, because love to talk about it in our next episode. Moving on from there, let's talk about another person we've talked about before, Mr. Lukas Reichel, because make no mistake, this is a make or break year for this guy. A new number, a new season, but it's time for him to finally break this vicious cycle he's been in, or the clock's going to run out on him in Chicago. Last season, Reichel ditched number 27 out of respect for Jeremy Roenick, who just went into the Hockey Hall of Fame. It's a classy gesture. It would have meant a lot more if Reichel was producing anywhere near JR's level by year 4. But instead, what do we get? A missed teams meeting because he forgot to charge his phone and didn't set an alarm. That's not just immaturity, it's a red flag. It's like a lack of focus, right? And it's frustrating because this guy's got real offensive talent. I told you I saw him in Berlin back in 2019. He literally was the best guy on the ice. So look, he's shown some offensive flashes while he's been here. He's got the speed. He's got the zone entry skill. But all he's done in the past 2 years is prove that, at best, he's a fourth-line player, and he's way too talented to be just a fourth line player. So here's the story we've seen on repeat. Reichel gets cold, he gets scratched. He comes back, plays well for 2 or 3 handful games. He gets moved up, he struggles again, cycle restarts. Gets cold, whatever, right? So it just happened over and over again under Luke Richardson. And to be honest, it fell apart last year when AA went down, right? That was the one guy that Reichel really clicked with. And after that, his confidence seemed to disappear. I still think not pairing Reichel with Connor Bedard from day one, kind of a huge miss, right? When he's locked in, Reichel's one of the best Blackhawks at driving offense off the rush. He's big, he's fast, he can open up space for a guy like Bedard. But instead, they let him flounder trying to be some solo act. Some of this is on the coaching staff, for sure, and the front office for how they handled him early. But at a certain point, the accountability's got to come to Reichel. He's had enough chances, right? He's had a good stretch here and a decent game here or there. But if he really wants to stick with the league, he can't keep ghosting every time adversity shows up. So here's the good news. Jeff Blashill might be the perfect coach to break this cycle with him, to unlock this guy. Blashill's system relies on speed, puck pressure, and constant forechecking, and Reichel has the raw tools to thrive in that environment if he buys in and he commits. I've seen it, you've seen it. When Reichel's fully engaged, he looks like a top 6 winger. He can win foot races, he starts transition rushes, and sets up high danger chances. But it's the consistency that's been missing. So here's the deal. If Lukas Reichel doesn't put it together this season, he's not long for the Windy City. And it's not about potential anymore. It's about performance. The Blackhawks need for him to break this cycle, step up, and become the offensive force we all thought he'd be 2 years ago. So let me know your thoughts, guys. Are we buying stock in Reichel? Can Blashill finally get through to him, or is it already too late? I don't know. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Love to chat with you about it. But here's another thing about Blashill and his effect on the Hawks. It is a reunion of sorts. One Blackhawks fans should be a little bit more excited about this reunion. Tyler Bertuzzi and Jeff Blashill are back together. The master and the Padawan, the sensei and the grasshopper. And if you're wondering what that could mean for Chicago, let me tell you right now, this is very good news for Bertuzzi, potentially great news for the Blackhawks. And look, I know a lot of fans shrugged at the Jeff Blashill hire, and it wasn't very flashy. It didn't come with any wow factor, but I guarantee you one guy in the locker room who was fired up, Tyler Bertuzzi. Back in 21-22 under Blashill in Detroit, Bertuzzi put up 30 goals and 60 points in just 68 games. That's not just production, that's efficiency. That's a player being maximized. Why? Because Blashill understood exactly what Bertuzzi is. Bertuzzi isn't flashy. He's not going to burn you with speed. He's a throwback. He's gritty, relentless, lives in the dirty areas, and makes his money around the crease. He's a pest and a producer. So when you pair that kind of guy with speedy, high IQ center, who knows how to draw pressure and create space, he cooks. That's exactly what Dylan Larkin did for him in Detroit. So who is that guy in Chicago? And sure, Connor Bedard, obvious name, right? We saw flashes of it last year. There was a couple of weeks where Bertuzzi was practically living off tip-ins on the power play. But here's where things get interesting. I actually think that Frank Nazar might be the better long-term fit. He's got that Larkin-like blend of IQ and playmaking, and he plays with pace. Pair him with Bertuzzi and maybe Ryan Donato on the other wing, and suddenly you've got a line with speed, grit, and legit scoring punch. If Blashill gives that trio time to build chemistry, he's the kind of coach who will, Bertuzzi absolutely can hit that 30-goal mark again. And I'll throw out one more wild card, Oliver Moore, right? I mean, kid's got moxie. He also has world-class speed and great vision. The issue is that he might actually be too fast for a guy like Bertuzzi. You don't want Moore stuck waiting, and you don't want Bertuzzi gassed just trying to keep up with him. And that's why the Nazar route makes the most sense. Let Moore develop. Let Bertuzzi do his thing with a center who complements him. And this is it. It's a perfect storm for Tyler Bertuzzi to thrive. He's back with a coach who knows how to use him. He's playing with young, skilled centers, and he's on a team that desperately needs his scoring and his edge. If Bertuzzi hits 30 goals again, the young Hawks team takes a huge step forward. So let me know. Who would you put with Bertuzzi? Would it be Nazar, maybe Bedard. Do you have another trio in mind? Put it in the comments, and we will, as always, talk about it. And we're going to talk about other hot takes right now. So Fubar Totali, 3389, a repeat offender, said, "Hey PJ," he actually spelled it out. "Yeah, I don't do projections about upcoming seasons for teams or players. A couple years ago, I was touting Lucas Reichel, who we actually just talked about, obviously, after he finished the season strong. Ouch. Still a fan, and he's still very young, so fingers crossed. I am reminded that Philly gave up on Patrick Sharp at 25 because he wasn't very productive." Really good point, right? Get someone in the right setting and in the right system, and they can really shine. So I think Lucas Reichel is in the right setting and the right system. He just needs to focus. Like he just can't try to be the end all be all the time. He's just got to focus and play within the program, trust the process, and I think he'll do fine. So thank you there, Mr. Repeat Offender Fubar. Really appreciate that. Step Boomer 01, also a repeat offender because he told me so. "I have a feeling Nazar will be on power play 1 with Bertuzzi, already strong at power play. I feel 20 goals and 55 to 60 points is completely reasonable." I like that take. I absolutely think so. I actually think he's going to score a few more goals, but I like what you're saying. So thank you, Step Boomer. Really appreciate that. Jeff Freeze 947 says, "I don't see Frank, Mr. Nazar, having a chip on his shoulder because of criticism for some about the contract, but I think he's self-driven enough to not need that. I expect Frank to have an up and down season with about 20 to 25 goals and 40 assists with good time spent on the power play penalty kill. Hoping that most of the prospects dominate in Rockford, and we've got a bunch of guys at the TDL end of the year looking ready for spots. More Lardis, Green, Frondel, Boisvert, and guys looking ready for the pros next year like Vanaker and Pridham." Good points. Very good points and takes. And you know what? I like the 20, 25 goals. I actually think he's going to get a little bit more in assists as well. So I'm hoping for a big year from Nazar. I mean, I think the reins are off. I think he's ready to go. So thank you very much, Jeff. I really appreciate that. And finally, we got Gary B. Katz. And he says, "I think you're being very conservative about Nazar." All right, we're all talking about Nazar. "He's capable of 30 goals and 80 points. It will help if he's paired with some fast players who can keep up with him. The Hawks are loading up on those guys." Also, good point. So, look, obviously, we got 3 different opinions on Nazar, where he's going to end up. The best part is, though, he's got tons of potential, and I think he's going to have a great year. So I'm very excited about that. So that is going to be a wrap for today, Blackhawks Nation. Really do appreciate it. Keep putting in your thoughts. Keep letting me know your points of view. Really, again, you guys are really smart. You know your game. You know the team. And you're passionate fans in the shows. So I really appreciate that. Please tune in every weekday. Get your Blackhawks Daily download. And, please continue with the likes, which are awesome. And the subscriptions, please subscribe and share about the channel. Get other people to subscribe. It really helps as we're just kind of trying to build this momentum, this wave of support for our favorite hockey team in all of sports. So thank you so much. This Centennial season is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to sharing it with you guys. So thank you very much for everything. I really appreciate it. That does it for today. I'm PJ, and I'll see you next time on the Blackhawks Daily.